I don't know if you said it or I said it, but about making those small shifts. I totally recommend reading the book Shift Happens. I know
I'm
you're
halfway,
still,
I'm halfway
I know
through
you're still
it.
reading it.
I'm a slow reader.
I know.
Give me some time.
But really, it's a really great
It
book
is.
about like shifting your mindset in tiny, tiny ways. Like just, and if you can throughout the day and throughout these, especially moments of failure or moments where you don't feel like you're good enough.
Yeah.
Over time, if you can shift those things in a tiny way, like it really does help.
One of the biggest shifts that I think a lot of people, like I think society suffers from this in general, but it's shifting from blaming other people
Yes.
to like really
Ownership.
owning like why things aren't working.
Totally.
Because, you know, like in my business, in, you know, an agency, a content agency style thing, like a big thing is like, you got to have a guarantee about like the thing that you're going to do for this person is going to work for them. But I think that goes into that honestly, that attracts like the wrong mindset of
Absolutely.
people.
Because there is no guarantee in anything. Even if you
there's really,
think you have a guarantee.
There's really not. And that's what's kind of difficult for me. But I think the whole guarantee thing, and thanks Hermosi for giving everybody that in your first book, but even though we appreciate you, brother, the having a guarantee and like leaning on that to be like a selling point, right, is why people don't take ownership, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things that holds people back from recognizing their own failures,
right,
is they rely on other people to
because their whole
to place the blame on.
Well, their whole mentality is I guaranteed X, right? And this person got it. So then I feel validated. But then if you don't, I mean, if that person doesn't do whatever you guaranteed them, then you feel like shit. I mean, really, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's
because there's no guarantee in anything.
Oh, there's not. Like, I mean, I know with like the program that I coach for right now, and like even my program that I'm building, is there's work involved in it.
Absolutely.
It's not a done for you service. Like, I'm here to show you the roadmap of what you should do to grow in this light. And there are certain like check marks and checkpoints that you have to do these things if you want this thing. Right. Right. And a lot of people, they just want to lean on the back of like,
but they also don't want to take ownership for like, hey, I didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And so then my business didn't perform, right? Yeah. It's just like, if I didn't do anything in parenting, like my kids would turn out shitty. Yeah. I mean, you know? Yeah. But I think I'm really good at this. Like, I'm very self-aware, maybe to a fault, honestly. But I feel like I'm pretty good at really taking ownership for where I, you know, screw up. Yeah. You know, like I think I'm pretty good at pointing out, like I know I'm really good at self-reflection, you know, except for when the failure feeling comes in, it's hard, you know. It's easy to blame someone else.
Oh, no, for sure.
But
that's why everybody does it.
Right. Because it's easy. Yeah. And that's literally what the world wants, is easy.
Nail on the head there. But how do we move forward? How do we learn from feeling like a failure and like how do you move past it?
I mean,
if you really struggle with it, you know what I mean? Like, how do you really like own it and
go from here to here?
Yeah. Like what's your process around that?
I mean, it's different, I think, depending on the thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, parenting failures for me feel so much different than like a business failure for me, because that's where I feel like my purpose is.
Well, I think that's where like
we're different.
Well, that's where we're opposites. It's like
Absolutely.
You feel like you're a failure in parenting more than I do,
right?
And I feel like I'm failing at
business or whatever,
which trickles into providing for you guys, and whatever. But
the way I overcome it, I mean, the first thing is just accepting it. You know, like
that you possibly messed up, or
right?
Like
I mean,
do what you could.
It goes with the ownership. It's like, for me, like obviously I'm talking about parenting, but like for me, it's like accepting that, like, oh, I maybe spoke a little too harsh, you know, and I need to apologize.